Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Hamza Yousaf sat squirming in his chair. He was asked a question, the answer to which he knew would be an admittance of failure. It was followed up by more admittances of failure simply by his silence. Of course, he cannot answer a lot of these questions. He dare not answer a lot of the questions because the truth, as we say so often here on this channel, the truth is damaging to the SNP. It is lethal to them. The truth is toxic. Facts destroy them. The particular question was, when will the A9 be fully duelled? And of course, the answer is probably never. Despite their election promises, despite it being a manifesto pledge, there is no end in sight because the Greens have said no, it mustn't happen. And of course, what this tiny bunch of mad misfits say is now taken as gospel and enshrined in SNP ideology. And so it's unlikely to ever be duelled while the SNP are in control. So hopefully that won't be too much longer. But even the section that they're doing, he has had to admit that won't be finished until 2027. Another 4 years. 4 years of roadworks and of delay. You have to wonder, why are these people working so slowly? Why are these construction companies being delayed so much? It's because of political interference, of course, all the time, because the SNP cannot help themselves. We'll take a look at this article, see what's going on, and see why it is just one endless road to nowhere. Here goes. Now, of course, it's not the road to nowhere at all. It's the road to Inverness, and I've travelled up it many, many times. Although I do prefer going up the A82 and up the Three Locks, but I've gone up the A9 many a time, and it's a road where, during the summer especially, you tend to get frustrated, especially with all the tourists. And there's only so very few passing places that are particularly safe. And even then, they put speed cameras up so you can't even go past quickly and safely. It's madness in the decisions these people are making. So it definitely, absolutely, positively has to be duelled for the safety of everyone. And yet, for some reason, the Greens say, oh, no. If you make the road safer, people might use it. And that might increase trade, and that's a bad thing. I think that's how the Greens are working. Anyway, Transport Scotland admit the A9 duelling section won't be finished until 2027, as Hamza Yousaf shirks completion question, a question he dare not, as I say, answer, because he knows whatever he says is going to be wrong. It's a lose-lose situation. The First Minister remained rooted to his chair with a grin on his face as he was urged by Douglas Ross to confirm when the full route between Perth and Inverness would be duelled. The Scottish Government has admitted the duelling of just one section of the A9 won't even be completed by 2027 at the earliest. Now, we're talking about the earliest now, and that's no guarantee it'll even be done then. This confession came despite ministers claiming that the entire road between Perth and Inverness would be upgraded by 2025 just a couple of months ago. So, complete and utter bullshit a couple of months ago, and I don't believe them now. Hamza Yousaf rehashed his pledge to completely duel the dangerous road during his programme for government, but was left red-faced when Douglas Ross demanded he stand up and confirm a timetable for completion. The First Minister remained rooted to his seat, telling you all you need to know, that the man has no idea when it will be, because he's got no idea what is going on. Now, Transport Scotland has said the new procurement process for duelling one of the 9 sections which remain incomplete will not even be awarded before the summer of 2024. The route between Tomerton and Moy is expected to take 3 years to complete. They've adopted this really weird way of sort of putting jobs out for tender. Not the way that every other job in history has gone out for tender. They have to have the political oversight way, because the SNP have to involve themselves at every single stage of every single job and put political officers in on everything, like it's honestly, it is like the Soviet Union. The cost of these works has also skyrocketed from 115 million to 150 million, when I can guarantee you'll at least double that, if not more. Ministers previously admitted earlier this year that the completion date for the full A9 would no longer be 2025, but have so far refused to confirm a new timetable. 2035 maybe at this rate. The lack of any confirmation from the First Minister has led to criticism from campaigners. Laura Hansler from the A9 Dual Action Group said that trust has gone between locals who use the road and the government. I'm surprised that trust was ever there. I wouldn't trust them, that's for sure. She told the Press and Journal the only way to gain any tangible levels of trust now between the government and the Highland electorate is to publish a full timetable of each of the remaining 9 sections and be realistic about where they seek to fund this. They can't fund it. They have no idea. This is why there's no timetable. If you had a timetable, people would expect them to stick to it. The SNP know it's impossible to stick to a timetable. They have no idea how much it's going to finally cost. They have no idea how long it's going to take. They have no idea where the funding is going to come from. They've generally just got no idea about anything. SNP backbencher and rebel Fergus Ewing also pressed Mr Yousaf on ensuring that he not break any more promises by publishing the full detail on this. And Douglas Ross, leader of the Scottish Tories, added, "This is a crucial infrastructure project that is absolutely vital for the Perthshire and Highlands of Scotland, indeed for connectivity across our country. We've had the highest death rate on that road in the last 20 years, and the First Minister can't say when his promise will be delivered. Cannot say anything. He doesn't know. He's not in a position with the figures, because nobody knows. Because these people are morons. They cannot even work out a way of planning a simple road project. I worked for builders for 30 years in total, for 23 with one, nearly 24 with one builder in particular. We would build roads, we would build infrastructure. We knew almost to the day we could start a 500 house project, including all the main roads, spur in, all the side roads, all the link roads, the lot. And we knew almost to the day how long it would take and how much it would cost, right from day one. Because we'd organised everything. Why can't these people do it? It's because they have to interfere at every single stage. They have to make sure that the builder is using the right paperclip on his paperwork. That's how bad they are. Every single bit of minutiae has to be micromanaged by this government. Oh dear. The First Minister remained rooted to his chair with a grin on his face on Tuesday after being challenged to stand up and confirm a timetable for the completion of the full route, which is likely to happen now for at least 10 years. I said 2035. I wasn't joking. Transport Secretary Mary McCallum, it said, stepped in to welcome the news about the procurement process. A process that is not used anywhere else, I think, in the world, because it is such a bad procurement process. She said, I know that today's announcements will be a welcome update for communities and businesses across the A9 corridor. No, it won't. You're just delaying it by another 10 years. How can that possibly be a good news? Progression of the A9 dualling programme continues to be a priority for this government, she lied. And today's announcement underlines our commitment to one of the biggest, most complex infrastructure programmes in Scotland's history. Are you shitting me? It's a road. You're only widening a road that already exists. That's not complex. That's not big. That's not hard. What that is a sign of the basically inept stupidity of the SNP government that it can't even build a road. What you do is you get your quote, you tell them get on with it, and then you sit back and stop interfering. It isn't hard. The Tomerton to May section, once complete, will contribute, she said, to our shared vision of Scotland, a connected Scotland with safe, accessible transport systems for all of our communities and businesses, as well as the tourists we welcome each year. Tourists who will now no longer come because you've just decimated the bed and breakfast industry with that stupid licensing scheme. So let's address that one as well at some point. What a stupid woman. What a stupid party. Everything about them is a fail, isn't it? Anyway, I shall stop there. I shall come up and we shall finish the video. Do you know, whenever they're asked questions, they can only lie, deflect, or not answer. Because they dare not answer with the true answers. Because it'll make them look absolutely awful, won't it? You can ask them very simple questions, and they won't tell you the truth. They refuse to tell you the truth. And they know that they promised this in, that not just this manifesto, they promised it in the manifesto before. This has been ongoing for years. And it's still not likely to happen before at least 2035. There are parents telling their children, be careful, eat well, exercise. Because one day, when you're an old man, you may be able to drive up the duelled A9. It's going to be a multi-generational thing. Like, you know, it'll be the stuff of legends. You know, we're sitting around the campfires, and I remember when I was a boy and my grandpa told me that the A9 would be duelled. Has it still not been duelled, Grandpa? No. But they keep saying one day. That's how bad it's going to be. Anyway, I shall stop there. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video enough to press the subscribe button. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, and if you're on the A9, drive bloody carefully. Bye.